One of the most common questions in the comments of my preview was about whether or not Haru gets the screen time and appreciation she deserves in Persona 5 Strikers. Well, I think this pretty much speaks for itself.
Haru, not bad. These could knock someone flat.
Yeah, they do.
Persona 5 Strikers is a Musou spin-off that isn't a Musou, and if you're confused by that sentence, I wouldn't blame you. For those unfamiliar with the term Musou, you will probably know it by another name. Warriors, as in Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, etc. Now that that is out of the way, let me elaborate on why Persona 5 Strikers, despite being pitched as a Musou spin-off in the same vein as Hyrule Warriors and all the rest of them, just isn't really a Musou at all. There are a lot of you out there that think the only thing that defines a Musou or a Warriors game is playing as an overpowered hero slaughtering hundreds of brain-dead plebs, but that barely scratches the surface of what makes a Musou a Musou. Persona 5 Strikers definitely has Musou-like combat. It's got the slaughtering a bunch of grunts down pat, but there are no open map battlefields here with ever-changing objectives. The combat is actually encounter-based. Basically, everything about the structure of Persona 5 Strikers is completely different to any and every Musou game there has ever been. It's really not even close. This game is a story-driven Persona experience first, a dungeon-crawling action RPG second, and then about 7 or 8 steps further down there is a vague whisper of a Warriors game that exists solely within active combat. Basically, what I'm getting at here is that the game was not made for Musou fans, it was made for Persona 5 fans, and it's a really different approach than we've ever seen from these Warriors crossovers. All the crossovers have done a great job at injecting flavour into the Musou template, but that is exactly how it's always been done. They start with the very familiar Musou template, and then adapt elements and mechanics from Zelda or Fire Emblem or whatever to fit into a Musou game. Persona 5 Strikers is not only the complete opposite, in that the template they started with was Persona 5, but it's also completely devoid of any crossover mechanics except, of course, the combat. Other than the combat, every element, every mechanic, all of the story, the gameplay structure, it's all from Persona 5. It's just been condensed to fit the size and scope of this spin-off sequel. So let's talk about where this game fits into the canon, another very common question in the comments of my preview video. Persona 5 Strikers is a direct sequel to the original Persona 5, meaning there are now 2 alternate timelines in the Persona 5 lore. Persona 5 plus Persona 5 Strikers being one timeline, and Persona 5 Royal being the other. The extra semesters, new characters, and altered fates for certain characters present in Persona 5 Royal never existed in the universe of Persona 5 and Persona 5 Strikers. Basically, what Strikers is just more Persona 5. The story picks up 6 months after the events of the original. You'll follow the Phantom Thieves as they road trip across Japan to solve the many problems and mysteries caused by a new metaverse occurrence, jails. In gameplay terms, jails are much like palaces from the original, and are basically what most RPG fans would call dungeons. Story-wise, they are a lot different from palaces, but mechanically they will feel very familiar, if not a little condensed. And that's a word I've used twice now, and for good reason. That is how I'd describe Strikers. It's Persona 5 condensed. Rather than separate social links and confidant levels, there is a bond system. Doing things with your friends increases your bond level and awards bond points which can be used to upgrade stats and skills, give bonuses, and learn new abilities. Instead of negotiating with personas to get them to join you, they have a chance to drop their mask after a combat encounter. And persona summoning and fusing is here too. There's just fewer personas overall compared to Persona 5. You'll still be finding infiltration routes in jails and sending calling cards, you're just doing it quicker and with fewer steps than the average palace. The story is a particular strong point. Juggling the real-life events with the metaverse is once again handled excellently. I really like the approach they took with the jails and how their existence differs from that of palaces. It's an intriguing narrative only made better by some new characters, which I absolutely love. I've laughed a lot while playing this game, and I'd say 90% of the lines that made me laugh were from one of the new characters.
How'd you know there was a jail here?
Well, about that.
I smelled it.
You smelled it?
Anyways...
And before I close this video out, I cannot forget to mention the soundtrack. There are a lot of tracks lifted from Persona 5, but there are both new tracks as well as remixes, and those remixes are almost universally better than the original ones. And hey, if you don't like the new battle tracks, you can import your Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal save file to unlock alternate sound sets. On the Switch version, you need to import a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate save to get those same sound sets, and for the PC version, well, I'm actually not sure. In any case, if what you're looking for is more Persona 5, then Persona 5 Strikers was purpose-built for you. The combat is going to take some adjusting to, but everything else is going to feel very familiar. It's not going to occupy 150 hours of your life like the original, but this delightful little sequel will keep you busy for 40 to 50 hours, and be damn entertaining for just about all of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.